Columbia changed my life by putting me in a position to do the things I wanted to do professionally. I mean, I came to New York originally, honestly, not specifically because Columbia I thought was going to be this extraordinary place and experience for me, but just because it would put me in New York. I mean, because I had applied to Juilliard, but I also felt like Columbia would provide me with a more well-rounded experience because I wanted to do or study things that were, not strictly in a conservatory base, but I wanted to study other subjects as well. The 107th annual varsity show, that if I can call that experience a moment in time at Columbia, I think it really did, just because, I mean, as we all know, the varsity show pretty much encompasses all of Columbia life. It's this really huge event. And as cynical as the varsity show can be, that's how we take pride in our institution. That's how we take pride in Columbia, by, being edgy and being cynics and ridiculing the place that we actually love. I think that really does typify my experience. Just the relationships I built through that, and the way that varsity show in particular really affected campus. It really affected the student body. It was kind of a moment in history for the varsity show, and I think for the school in general. Actually, well, the idea that year, and it was fairly forward thinking, since it was back in, I guess, 01 or 02. It was reality TV comes to Columbia University, and we shot a reality show, and it was about how President Rep was excited how we would get all this publicity and get money, and it would kind of lift Columbia, kind of do away with the cynicism that pervades Columbia. But ultimately, it created stars, and it began to destroy the university. And in order to save the place, he had to resign. And he elected one of the students as the new president, and we all celebrated what he had done for us. And it was that's how it went. The very next year, Paul Gelinas, who was a fellow classmate of mine, he had produced Varsity Show 107, and then he started to direct How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying the next year. And I starred in that show, and there was a character, Wally Wamper, who's kind of the head executive of the company that I was rising through the ranks in. And Paul was like, I think it'd be really awesome if we got Dean Quigley could do it, because he knows how much Dean Quigley really loves and appreciates the arts and supports the arts and the artists here at Columbia. And so he went in, and I mean, I wasn't part of that meeting, but he convinced him to come. But if I recall correctly, when we were rehearsing, I think Dean Quigley said he would do it as long as he promised that he wouldn't have to dance or sing. And Paul was like, yeah, I mean, I don't think, it's just not really that kind of part. It won't really require that. And then we got into rehearsal, and he started blocking him. He's like, well, if you could just move over like this, and if you slowly but surely kind of eased Dean Quigley into the experience. And by the end of it, he was dancing and scatting. It was hilarious. It was just kind of eased him into it. But the thing is, he was really excited to do it. He had a really good time. I think we just had to kind of make it a very comfortable experience for him. And when he came out during the show, everybody went crazy because nobody knew. So it was really wonderful. We had a lot of fun. I remember we rehearsed in John Jay Lounge. That's where it was, and it was a great time. Heartland Lounge, sorry. I mean, I got to know Dean Quigley in kind of in a different light, and we developed a more personal relationship just through that one experience. Because I mean, even after I left school, I remember I bumped into him on campus one time with some members of his family, and we talked and caught up. And he's always been a real big supporter of all the things that I've been doing and been trying to do in my professional career, and I really do appreciate that. He's been very special in that regard.